afraid of letting the guy next to you down.
That's
Look
the
how
key.
darn hard that guy's working.
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Yes, we are in the city. What up? SF. We're going to call you SF. Our beloved Kings are. When do the Kings play again? I thought they played tonight. What up, Jenna? Earl Skakel in the house. Of course, me and SF are. Okay, who do they play tomorrow? They got some problems, man. They got some problems, that's for sure. But I mean, I'm a little surprised they played Forsberg against Florida. But what up, Jenna? Just Jenna in the house. I'll be at the Comedy Store tonight, midnight. So probably about 12:30, 12:45. Yeah, I might go to the Steeler game tomorrow. The Steelers are playing the Los Angeles Chargers. So, I like to buy tickets day of. Tickets are a little pricey, to be honest with you. So I like to. Now, the real racket is to go to the game and buy tickets right outside the stadium. I'm talking an hour before kickoff. So, yeah, basically, it will be a home game for the Steelers. It is kind of fun, too. I mean, I looked at one ticket, it was 50-yard line on the aisle, $1,300. So, I'm good on that. Because I don't mind watching at home. What up, Mason in Portland? Mason in Portland he is popular in the Dabbleverse streams. So Dabbleverse discussions are now on the table. But there's really not much going on in that world. I mean, not that there ever is, but, we can just talk a little hockey, a little football, some stand-up comedy. We can also expose in the closet comics. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. And, Saturday Night Live, baby. I mean, I'm assuming if you guys are watching this stream, I haven't played in a couple weeks. I got a little burnt out on playing Colt C. It's still my favorite game of the last couple years to play. That's NCAA College Football 2025. I liked it so much, I didn't even get Madden this year. Usually Madden is like the end all be all for me. Because in Madden, they have something you can it's similar to how you build your team. You can get draft picks and whatnot. Well, Steeler fans just travel. I don't know why. I mean, you would think the game being in LA, but, I'm sure that's an appealing thing for Steeler fans. Hey, let's go to LA for the weekend and, take in a game. I don't know how. Do all famous people, siblings, think that they're important too? I don't know what you're referring to. Are you referring to me? I don't have any famous siblings. I mean, I'm probably the most famous person in my family, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, if I was that famous, I'd have more than 13 people in the stream. I mean, I said, by the way, rest in peace to former Philadelphia Flyer captain Mel Bridgman. I mean, I got to be honest with you, I hated that guy as a Ranger fan, but, you know, he was from an era of hockey that he was really from my favorite era of hockey. And, oh, you mean like Ashley Cummings? I mean, you know, I don't know Ashley. You know, she seems to think she's a little more important than she is. I mean, no tea, no shade, but at the end of the day, if she wasn't Whitney Cummings' sister, no one would care. So, but I mean, tomorrow the tailgate parties will be dominated by Steeler fans. I went to the Steelers game in San Diego against the Chargers. I think this is Michael Vick's season with Pittsburgh, and you really thought that you were at a Steeler home game. It was pretty neat. The burlesque and comedy show did pretty good. I mean, yeah, Mel Bridgman got into many fights with the Rangers. You know, Ed Hospodar, George McPhee. You know, I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful of the deceased, but it would have been interesting to see him on a team that wasn't the Philadelphia Flyers, that literally had 8 to 9 tough guys on the team. So he felt pretty confident starting shit. You know, whereas if he was on, say, the Kings, and they didn't really have a lot of tough guys, you know, maybe one, maybe two, you would have had to fight your own battles, which I don't know if he could have. But a great player for that era. You know, in that Ken Lensman mode. I mean, the Steelers have the best traveled fan base in the NFL by far. But the burlesque and comedy show was good. I mean, it was a pretty long show. I mean, 3 hours, but there were a lot of girls, and they do routines. And then after about every 6 dancers, they bring on a comic, and there's 3 of us. My friend Maria and her boyfriend Renee, and then me. So, you know, I don't know if I would do it every weekend, but I'm friends with that particular burlesque group. So, it was fun. You know, tonight is a little more my speed. You know, I'm used to comedy clubs now. You know, a couple of years ago, I was used to more bar shows, which I guess technically this was a bar show. You know, I don't know. Yeah, 49ers, you know, the Giant fans invade the Dodgers. Although, you know, Dodger Stadium is kind of in a gang-infested neighborhood. So I think smart Giant fans, they don't antagonize. I mean, it's a heavily Hispanic area. So there's MS-13 and 18th Street. Gangs you really don't want to fuck around with. Yeah, I mean, in the late 70s, I mean, that's kind of, you know, it's funny, I grew up actually a Ranger fan because I saw more of their games on cable out here than I did King games. And Flyers had, you know, basically a football team on skates. I mean, you had Bridgman, Ken Lensman, Ben Wilson, Glenn Cochran, Bob Kelly, Selesky, Bobby Clark, Hoyda and it's funny, Carolyn Baith. I think it's her dad or her uncle, Frank Baith. Carolyn Baith, the female, I guess, hockey reporter for the Kings. You know, okay, I mean, he was a pretty tough dude too. And then the Rangers went out. I mean, it was like a nuclear arms race. You know, the Rangers, you know, were getting beat up by the Flyers so much so they traded 5 players for Barry Beck. You know, he's a big guy. You know, for that era of the league, he was about 6'3", 215, which was huge back then. I mean, most players were like Mel Bridgman's size. And then that's a good game, TB. And then, they had, so you look at the Rangers, they loaded up. They had Ed Hospodar, they drafted him, I think, in the first round. And he's one of my favorite interviews I've ever done, the boxcar. And then he went to Philly, ironically. But, so the Rangers from 79 to 82, you had Barry Beck, you had Ed Hospodar, you had Nick Fatiu, Frank Beaton, the Maloney brothers, who were pretty tough. Not fighters, but they were tough. Ron Greschner, tough guy. Carol Vadnais, tough guy. And then the Islanders, of course, they had Clark Gillies, who was Probert before Probert. And, Bob Nystrom, and then a bunch of other, Gord Lane. I mean, they had some tough dudes too. And then, the Oilers then came, they lost to the Islanders, but they had Semenko and Kevin McClellan and, later on McSorley. I mean, it was jungle high, especially from like 77 to say 83. Matthew Schrader sent 100. I don't even know what that means, but thank you. Yeah, Clark Gillies was great. He and, the two best fighters in the league, in my opinion, were Clark Gillies. And, this is a controversial choice because I've never seen anyone pick him as a great fighter but Barry Beck. And neither guy would get over 100 minutes in penalties. So people would be like, how can you call those two fighters when they didn't even have 100 minutes? I mean, this was in an era where, Tiger Williams had 400 penalty minutes, but no one was afraid of Tiger Williams, so they would fight him. A couple got Randy Holt had, many, many penalty minutes, but no one wanted to fight Beck or Clark Gillies. So, I mean, the Oilers Oilers are playing a little weird right now. I mean, they're going to have to make a move. Well, thank you, Inferno. I'll take that. I mean, I'm not a black woman, but, but thank you, I guess. I mean, I don't really know what to say to that. I mean, you've got me perplexed, but I appreciate that. But just for the record, I'm not an African American woman. I'm a single white male. And welcome to the stream. You might be new to the channel, Inferno. So, do you think Gretzky's records would be higher, lower, and broken if he hadn't played with so many great teammates? I mean, I think you got to look at Gretzky's team, and the '80s Oilers were almost like the '70s Steelers. I mean, I think the Steelers had 11 or 12 Hall of Famers out of their 22 starters, and if you look at the that's a fact, Jack Sebastian. If you look at the '80s Oilers, you had Gretzky, Messier, Glenn Anderson, Yari Curry, Paul Coffey. You had maybe the greatest money goaltender of all time, Grant Fuhr. I mean, that's arguable, but I mean, he was the real deal. Steve Smith, Randy Gregg was a great shutdown defenseman. Dave Semenko, maybe the greatest enforcer, not fighter, but enforcer. I mean, you sent Semenko over the boards with that scowl and that mullet and the bald spot. He looked fucking unhinged. Thank you, Port. So, and it was jungle hockey. I mean, the clutching, the grabbing. You could argue if he played in today's game, he'd have more points. I mean, the clutching and the grabbing, and it was jungle hockey. Yeah, I mean, that goal, maybe not. And the two-line passes. I mean, Gretzky today. I mean, look at, it's funny. I was watching, because the linesman, Leon Stickle, passed away, I think yesterday, rest in peace. And he was always breaking up some of my favorite fights. And if I was watching a fight he broke up the other day, it was Barry Beck and Rick Tocchet. And it's just jungle hockey in front of the net. I mean, Tocchet must have ran Beck 20 feet. That's a penalty. Beck is molesting him in the crease, like bear hugging him in the crease. That's a penalty. Puck goes into the corner. Beck gets there first. Tocchet runs him again. That's a penalty in today's game. Beck and Tocchet fight. And Stickle actually ended up getting hurt because it was like a twist. It was like a car crash. You've got The two linesmen trying to break up Beck and Tockett. Somehow Beck gets on top, and Stickle twists his knee because Beck went for a cheap punch, and Beck would have been kicked out of the game in today's game. He got 5 minutes. So, well, I don't think I'm going to stick up for Skinner in this regard. He doesn't have a great team in front of him. I mean, Bouchard's brutal defensively, but he's so good offensively. You take the good with the bad with him. And, he does not have a lot of help. Nurse is pretty brutal defensively. So it's just, I don't know if another goaltender would be much better. I mean, if you put Kemper in, Kemper technically is probably a better goalie than Skinner or Pickard. But if you put Kemper in the same situation, I don't think it's going to be any better. I mean, what's up? What's up? Look up Barry Beck. I think it's called, what's it called? Barry Beck's Greatest Hits or Barry Beck Highlight Reel. And it's a fan-made video. It's about 9 minutes. And it's Beck's best fights and hits. And every hit in this video would have been a penalty today. I mean, Beck is because he was so much fucking stronger than everyone. Like, there's a play when he's going into the corner with Bob Gould, who was like a tenacious, was kind of like a Philip Deneau type, defensive-minded player. And Gould's going to beat Beck to the puck. So Beck literally picks him up off the ice, hugs him into the boards, throws him into the boards, basically. Today, that'd be a double minor. Back then, not even a whiff of a penalty. So, it's kind of smart, Callan and Rogan, Joe, as smart as he is, it's mind-blowing to me some of the people he keeps around him. But who am I to sit there and say who he should be friends with, But Newsom is smart, and that's what I've been telling you guys this for 2 years. That's how smart Newsom is. Start working Rogan now. And he'll get on Rogan. What up, Ace? Yeah, one referee, 2 linesmen. But, some of these calls, like in the Beck highlight reel, look at Steve Webb. If you want to even advance it 20 years after Beck played, Steve Webb was a guy on the Islanders who would literally take 20 to 30-foot runs of guys. He didn't care if they had the puck or not. He knocked guys out cold. Even back then in the early 2000s, very few penalties were called on Steve Webb. Well, but that's how good Newsom is. I guarantee you Newsom will get on Rogan. He's that good of a smooth talker. I thought Caulfield should have made the team for the Four Nations tournament. I also thought Tage Thompson should have made the team. But that's how deep the U.S. is. Listen, they got to the finals. They had technically a better record than Canada in the Four Nations tournament, but they just picked the wrong game to lose in. Billy Bob Thornton seems like he'd be a good listen. I don't like the fighting with the shields on. I think, but the players are so much bigger now. I think they should be made to take the shield off. So you square up with a guy, and the shields are clippable. Because that man, I have Pierre-Luc Dubois' helmet that I play ball hockey in, and that shield is fucking, it's hard. I can't imagine unloading on a guy and hitting that first. Scott Stevens took runs, but, they were clean. That Paul Correa hit was a clean hit. Correa just had his head down, wasn't looking, and bam. But, the size of these guys now, look at that guy in Tampa, 6'9", Douglas, Rempe, 6'8". Barry Beck, 6'3", 215. He'd be the 5th or 6th biggest player on the Rangers today. because the Rangers have that other kid, 84, who's a fucking giant. But Rempe's on the team, so he doesn't look that big. So, yeah, I mean, ESPN's really going for it. I was watching pillow fighting the other day with Czech Congo, who was like an ex-UFC champ, I think. Um, but I don't know who that is, Stephen. Ross Incognito in the house. JJ, what's up? What's up? Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure they do. By the way, a good pay-per-view coming up in AEW. They'll have some surprise. MJF's been off TV for a while, so I'm sure MJF will make an appearance. We're gonna watch Collision tonight. That reminds me. Buff, I don't think I know you. So, yeah, Bray, he's a tough guy. Luke Shen. I mean, he's a big boy. 6'3". No, well, these are hard pillows. It was like, who was it? The fight I saw was Czech Congo against Hector Lombard. I mean, what's up? What's up? What's up? Earlier Steelers are in town. Should be. Yeah, I mean, that is a good game. Chargers are good. Steelers are good. I mean, Rodgers ain't the problem. The Steeler defense has kind of been a little wonky, as well as the offensive line. I mean, I don't, I think the Steelers got one of Aaron Rodgers' receivers, Scantlin, Marcus Valdez Scantlin or something. So, I mean, the Steelers have a decent fucking team offensively. If you look at the Steelers, you've got, one of the best receivers in the league in Metcalf. You've got a 3 tight end attack with Freiermuth, Smith, and Washington. All 3 can catch. Calvin Austin's fast. So, but they don't have that true number 2 guy who he could put out opposite Metcalf. And their running game's okay. And their offensive line is okay. And the only thing Rodgers can't really do anymore is run around. Not that he ever could, but you want to try and avoid that. So, but who is that? SF. I mean, it was interesting to watch, but I don't know. I mean, slap fighting, pillow fighting. I mean, what's next? Dick fighting. I mean, But who is that? I don't know who that is. What team does he play on, Stephen? I always want to call you Stephen. Because Stephen Piercy spells his name like you, and I always want to call him Stephen. But I guess Stephen would be Stefan. So Stephen. Earl Skakel in the house, Saturday Night Live. We're just chilling for about an hour in the Earlverse. I know you have plenty of streaming options to watch. Oh, I see. You're doing. You're making a funny, Steven. I see that. Yeah, I mean, he was a big boy. Steph Curry, though. I mean, he was on a show that my ex-girlfriend wrote on. Holy moly! I met him once. He seemed like a nice guy. I know. Czech Congo and Hector Lombard in a pillow fight match, but those pillows are pretty hard. But I mean, Jesus, man! You imagine you're fighting a Czech Congo, one of the maybe the greatest comeback fight ever in the history of the UFC with Pat Barry, where Barry's just killing him, and Congo there was like a Rocky Balboa Hail Mary punch, and Barry was out in La La Land. What did you think of Election Day? I mean, it went as I expected. I knew the redistricting Prop 50 was going to pass. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, definitely a rebuke on Trump. So. See, red-blooded, that's funny. That's creative. It's funny. You're 1 for 1. I'm going to give you 1 for 1. Yeah, what up? See, we can talk UFC, we can talk politics, We just don't get nasty with the political talk, I respect everyone's opinion. Full disclosure, I didn't vote for president this year, or a year and a half ago. I didn't like either choice, but he was an executive producer. I don't know how. I mean, every time I was on the set, I never saw him there. But that's one of those things. Like Jim Carrey was an executive producer on I'm Dying Up Here, and I never saw him one day. And I was on, I think, 11 or 12 of the episodes. There's a few I wasn't on. And Are You Sad, Nancy Pelosi? Not. I mean, listen. The way this country's running, let's get some new blood in there, baby. I mean, she's fucking 80. Trump is 80 or is going to be 80. Let's get some new blood, man. I don't care what party they're in. Let's get some new ideas. I mean, both sides should be embarrassed at the lockout or the government shutdown. So, yes, Rob Riggle was the co-host. My ex-fiance was his writer and slash producer. What's your favorite movie, mate? I mean, wow. My favorite movie is probably a movie most of you have never heard of. It's called 52 Pickup with the great Roy Scheider, the villainous John Glover, Clarence Williams III, Robert Trebor, Anne Margaret. And, it just should have done better, but it didn't, and a year later, A Fatal Attraction came out, which is basically the same fucking plot. Thank you, Articulate John. I still don't know what gifts do for me, but I do appreciate them. Yeah, Anne Margaret in 52 Pickup looked awesome. And it was a great pairing, her and Roy Scheider, because they looked like a married couple. And, it was a politically, that's one of my favorite endings. And it's funny, I think I was on that road last night in Long Beach. John Glover is just such a good actor, and he played such a scumbag in that movie. And hello, Alan. This is the first and last 10 seconds of the rest of your life. And then that played that Bad News Bears song. Da 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 da. And John Glover's trying to get out of the car. If you haven't seen the movie by now, I don't think I'm spoiling the movie. I remember when Frank Trigg had Matt Hughes in the show. Yeah, he kissed him. Frank Trigg's been on my pie. Frank Trigg has been in this living room. I got into a habit of calling people sport because of John Glover in 52 Pickup. Hello, sport. So yeah, if you haven't seen the movie 52 Pickup, check that out. I guess it wasn't an independent movie. It was done by Cannon Films, which if you're old enough, you remember Cannon Films was like, they made a lot of shit and they made a lot of good 80s movies. But I often wonder why 52 Pickup, what up, Brian, didn't do better. And a few years ago, I saw a documentary on Netflix, and I wish I remember the name of it, but it was basically about Golan Globus, who ran Cannon Films. And, they didn't talk about 52 Pickup a lot. I think they mentioned it for a second. But the premise of the documentary was essentially that if it wasn't a Chuck Norris movie, they put no money into promotion. So, Delta Force was all over the place. Billboards, commercials, 52 Pickup, not so much. So, Delta Force, those great mid-'80s, I think Missing in Action movies, John Candy, one of the greats. First Blood's a great movie. That first Rambo movie is so good because it was very much made in the mode of Rocky, where, Rocky almost never got made because every studio passed on it. Literally, Stallone heard from a casting director, no one's going to want to look at your face for 2 hours. And then another casting director said, no one's going to fucking understand you. And he just persisted and persisted and persisted, and he got it made. And the same thing, I love Cobra, Electric Boogaloo. Is that the documentary name? And then the same thing with Rambo, where even because Rambo was made what 82, 83, and Stallone had some bombs. Rocky was a big hit. Rocky 2 was a big hit. Lords of Flatbush, not so much. Um, Nighthawks was a disappointment. I still think it's a great movie. Also, he had a couple other movies. Fist, I think. So he had some bombs and some hits, and I think a movie about a Vietnam vet basically losing his mind in the early '80s was not high up on people's list of films they wanted to see. Um, yeah, Electric Boogaloo was a great. It really gave you an insight to why, or it gave me an insight as to why 52 Pickup didn't do better. I mean, when you look at the cast, that's a great fucking cast. But unfortunately, it just it's weird how that movie kind of was. I don't know if I'd say it was a bomb, but it was a disappointment. And then a year later, Fatal Attraction, which was basically the same plot minus the porn part, huge hit. Oh, okay. I mean, Paulie does kind of look like Richard Simmons, so yeah, Die Hard's a great movie. Obviously, the first Lethal Weapon is great. Yeah, Paulie's well, as far as I know. The Predator is my favorite action movie. I mean, it's just like the perfect action movie. My favorite serious movie, like my favorite drama, Big Wednesday. That's another movie that should have done better, but great cast. I mean, a prime Jan Michael Vincent, a prime William Catt, who literally was just coming off of auditioning for Han Solo, so like he was very much in demand. Gary Busey, I think it was made the same year that the Buddy Holly story was made. So that's a great three guys, and the character actors that were in it were top notch. Sam Melville, who played like a Yoda-like surf figure, he was great. And it just didn't. I mean, I remember because my two brothers were surfers. We saw it at the Man National opening, not just opening day, but the first showing. I'll never forget. It was on a Friday at noon, and like I wasn't hip to the business back then. I was 10 years old, but when we got there, there's no line. We got candy and soda right away, and we sat in the middle of the theater. And the Man National, maybe TB might remember it, was a fucking huge. Oh, did I miss your Wang Chung? Did I? I'm sorry, TB. Let's TB. My neighbor did son. Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody have fun tonight. I know the words more to this song instead. Deep in the world tonight. Oh, turn up the radio. I'll do the Wang Chung video of it. I'll hold you so close. Break it up. Move down. Break it up. Move it down to the ground. Whoa, 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 whoa. Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody have fun tonight. What happened to Opie? I didn't say. No, well, Czech Congo gets. Let's go. My favorite Wang Chung song though is "Let's Go." One, two. Let's go, baby, let's go, baby, come on. Take a cue from me now. When you listen to me. Let's go, baby, come on. 'Cause baby, I want your love. Big Wednesday and on Any Given Sunday. Plus, remember the skateboard movie with Leif Garrett? Those were huge movies for us LA kids in the 80s. Yeah, I mean, Big Wednesday to me, like, it just meant so much to me because my two brothers were surfers and very good surfers. I mean, they surfed with Reb Brown, who was also in Big Wednesday at Malibu Point. So I would go and watch them surf, and I remember Reb Brown, who was also the first Captain America. And you know, just, I mean, look at the pedigree of Big Wednesday. John Milius, maybe one of the greatest writers in Hollywood history. And, Big Wednesday was basically about his life, surfing the point in Malibu. Lois is up, obviously. And, I don't know. I mean, about a year ago, I had Daryl Fetty on. So if you remember Big Wednesday, um, he played Waxer in Big Wednesday, and he seemed a little perplexed as to why it didn't do well. I mean, it's a great script, just didn't do well. I mean, being a part of I'm Dying up here, I'm often perplexed as to why that didn't do better. I mean, Melissa Leo won an Oscar. Jake Lacey's probably the most in-demand young actor in Hollywood. All the comics on it were good, but I don't know. I mean, Hollywood is a fucking weird scene. Fuck yeah. Well, it might be. I mean, Trump will probably buy the rights to it. That's my dog. She has a partially collapsed trachea. So you must be new to the stream. No, John Milius was never in Predator. I'm just catching. I thought it seemed he was on. No, Paulie's good. I mean, Tony probably. I don't know what Tony's position is on Kill Tony. I don't know. He seems like they're transitioning a little bit from just being a mean roast show to like feedback, actual feedback. But Earl, I mean, it's Tony's show. I mean, I don't think I don't think Tony needs the Comedy Store. And I know that Peter Shore is doing a documentary on Kill Tony. So, I mean, Tony's pretty juiced in right now. So, but Paulie doesn't need Kill Tony either. I mean, Paulie, don't forget, Paulie owns the Comedy Store. So he's getting a nice monthly check from somebody. There's 3 sons that still run the club. So, it's all good. It sounds awful, but my dog's not, I mean, it'll never get better, but it probably won't get worse. I don't know who Pigman is, to be honest with you. Sudden Impact. I mean, my favorite Dirty Harry movie, absolutely Magnum Force. I just like that. I mean, the first one's really good, but I just like Magnum Force. And under the radar Clint Eastwood movie, and it was basically a Dirty Harry script, but for whatever reason they didn't call it a Dirty Harry movie, was the 1977 film The Gauntlet. That's a great Clint Eastwood movie. Totally could have been a Dirty Harry movie, but well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen that video. So, but you look at here now. Here's a funny story about Big Wednesday. Well, Tony should be careful though, because what goes up comes down, and there's going to be a time when Kill Tony's not that popular anymore, and he's going to have to be nice to the people he was shitting on. So that'll be interesting when that happens, because it's going to happen. But it won't be anytime soon. So I'm sure Tony feels a little emboldened, or whatever you want to call it. But the funny thing about Big Wednesday is, so Spielberg, Lucas, and Milius all went to USC, and both Spielberg and Lucas said Milius was the more talented writer. Now, whether that's true or not, who knows? But when they first got big, they traded points on their next movie. So Lucas was Star Wars, which was, I think, 77. Spielberg's was Close Encounters, which I think was 77. And Milius's was Big Wednesday, which was 78. So Milius won that deal. I mean, you get money from Star Wars and Close Encounters, where Spielberg and Lucas get the, if there were profits, to Big Wednesday. And going back to 52 Pickup for a second, let's check out the pedigree of that movie, a John Frankenheimer movie, Elmore Leonard novel. I mean, that should have been as big as Fatal Attraction, but I digress. Just a little Dabbleverse thing for you guys. I like the first Star Wars. It's a little grittier, a little slow, but the buildup of Darth Vader being a great bad guy, and the pro wrestling swerve at the end with Han Solo coming back. I have you now, and then Vader gets blasted. That was a nice pro wrestling swerve. And then Lando Calrissian in the second one turning heel. I've told a lot of ghost stories, Harry. I'm not in the mood to tell one now because they're a little long. They're 5 to 10 minutes. Now, if I got a super chat, I might waken up. Sorry, I got a booger in my eye. But check back. Every now and then I'll do a ghost story from the store. Yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan. I mean, I saw them all in movie theaters. I mean, I kind of am curious to see. I would love to see the unedited. They filmed about 50% of the first one with Eric Stoltz. I would love to see him as Marty McFly because I thought he played a great nerdy character and like some kind of wonderful, but apparently he was playing it too straight. It wasn't like that funny. And another under the radar movie that's a great cat and mouse, I guess you'd call it a drama. Yeah, how he didn't win the Oscar in Mask is mind blowing to me. Is Roller Coaster, which is Timothy Bottoms plays a great psychopath blowing up roller coasters all over the country. George Segal is the FBI agent in charge of finding him. And, of course, the great Richard Widmark, one of my favorites, great as the evil Bank in Against All Odds. He plays a surly FBI agent. And Roller Coaster was the first movie ever to be in Dolby Sound. And I'll never forget, and TB probably has been to many a movie in this theater, The Man Bruin was where Roller Coaster was. And so when the scenes where roller coasters were in the scene with the Dolby Sound, you felt like you were on a roller coaster because your seat shook. So I love what was Richard Widmark's name in Against All Odds? Fuck, he was good in that. He reminded me of my dad. If you want to know what James Curtis Skakel was like and how he parented, watch Against All Odds. Richard Widmark. What was his name in Against All Odds? Fuck, it's right on the tip of my tongue. James Woods was Jake Wise. Ben Caxton. That was my dad in Against All Odds, basically. And Richard Widmark, also great in the disaster movie The Swarm.
Earl?
Yeah, come on in. I'm doing a stream, but let me. No, come on in. Come on in. Hold on, guys. I got to give my neighbor. No, it's all good. It's all good.
No, I just want to, because I stopped by 3 times now. Where is it? Leave it. I'm going to go get the fitted dogs. I just want to make sure you're okay.
Oh yeah. So you want to?
Tomorrow. That's not. I just want to make sure you're okay. Stop.
Do you want to come by and get him?
I'm going to feed the dogs. I'll get it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Just check it on you, honey.
Yeah.
That's not right. No, stop.
Okay. Well, I'll be up for a few hours if you want to swing by.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
Okay. Thank you, Seema.
Yesterday, like you always answer. So
Yeah, I was in and out.
I'll see you later.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That's my great neighbor. Towering Inferno? Yes, 100%, Jenna, 100%. I don't even want to get into that. So, Kevin Stefanski, what up? Yo, 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 yo. Yeah, Lois is no joke. She guards this house with an iron fist. Trying to think what. So Roller Coaster, but the Roller Coaster's biggest problem was, I think it came out the same week as Star Wars, or the week after Star Wars. And man, you know, you talk about bad timing, man. You couldn't get any worse timing than coming out around Star Wars. Dressed to Kill, a great Brian De Palma movie. I'm trying to think what other lost, but check out Roller Coaster, and also check out Wanted Dead or Alive. Maybe my second favorite ending of it. Here are my 3 favorite movie endings. Not great, not like big box office bonanzas, but what up, Buddhist Priest? Yeah. Ever seen Quicksilver? A long time ago. I played a football player in Last Action. No, that was what was that Bruce Willis movie? Last Boy Scout. My 3 favorite endings of any movie is Nighthawks with Stallone, where Stallone is in drag and Rutger Hauer's about to kill him, and Stallone turns around and there's a great opera music when he takes off the wig and Rutger Hauer realizes it's Stallone. And then Wanted Dead or Alive, once again with Rutger Hauer, when he pulls the pin out of the grenade in Gene Simmons' mouth, says, "Fuck the bonus." And then 52 Pickup, when John Glover dies in the car. He wanted the whole movie, but Roy Scheider had rigged it with explosives. Hello, Alan. This is the first and last 10 seconds of the rest of your life. And then those are my 3 favorite, and once again, none of them blockbusters. So, interesting. Okay, I don't know who Jeremiah Johnson was, but we'll go about another 10 minutes, guys. Saturday night, I'm going to take a little pre-Comedy Store nap, maybe walk Lois for a second, and hello, Lois. Lois is right at my feet right now. It's okay. No, we're not going to go behind here. She can't see too good anymore. I may need to watch Surviving the Game. Damn, that's been a minute since I've seen that movie. 10 was a good movie. There's many. I'm trying to, though, pick under the radar movies that, even the Roller Coaster ending was great. Last Action Hero, just, people were kind of, I think, getting sick of Schwarzenegger at that point. He had a great fucking run, man. Terminator, Predator, Total Recall. I like Brubaker with Robert Redford. Nighthawks was, I don't know why it didn't do better. It's a great cat and mouse game. And, Stallone and Rutger Hauer didn't really get along. So that added to the film's tension. You could tell in the scenes they were in together, they don't like each other. Demolition Man, I don't know, I just wasn't into that. There's many better action movies. But I love, Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes. That had one of my favorite, I almost call him John Glover Jr. He's a favorite character actor of mine, Luca Bercovici, who kind of looks like John Glover, but he was I think he was the bad guy in that Kevin Costner bicycle movie, and he played a great bad guy in Miami Vice. He was like the go-to good-looking bad guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he and John Glover auditioned for some of the same. Um, like I could totally see him in 52 Pickup as the bad guy. Um, okay, I mean, I love Sidney Poitier. I used to live in a building with his daughter, and she was so pretty and so nice. We'd always walk our dogs at the same time, and she was on some TV show that was pretty big, but I don't know what she's up to now. But it's very cool, and I think her name was Sydney. Um, interesting. Big Trouble in Little China was pretty funny. I was an action movie guy. I mean, that movie had a little too much humor in it for me. Convoy is one of my favorite movies. I guess that would be considered an action movie. Um, I mean, that building I lived in Century City, what a fucking great collection of, um, like, I guess you'd say celebrities. I mean, Don Adams from Get Smart, Sidney Poitier's daughter, Steven Adler, the drummer from Guns N' Roses. And I think Dennis Franz must have been fucking someone in the building because I always saw him there. Um, so, um, Eric Roberts, what do you guys? I mean, Eric Roberts, I saw Adam Ray's returning to the Comedy Store for a specialist. Joe Biden looks great. I mean, I guess. I mean, if that's your kind of thing. I think John Glover's in RoboCop 2 in the very beginning. So what are you guys talking about Eric Roberts for? I mean, of course, Star 80 is actually a great. Oh yeah, you're talking. You want the best Eric Roberts movie? Absolutely, Star 80. Dickstown with Louis Gossett Jr. I always wanted to interview Louis Gossett Jr. and ask him what it was like being in the King Cobra video for Never Say Die. Never say die, Iron Eagle, never look back, never say die. And that singer just died, Mark Free, but known for the last couple years of his life as Marcy Free, if you know what I'm saying. Beverly Hills Ninja. I knew the kid in what's those the ninja movies? The three ninja movies. I used to sit next to him at King games. I knew he'd be a real pussy hound when he grew up. He married a model. I mean, he was a real cocksman, if you know what I'm saying. And I think you guys do. Earl in real life. I'd like to think I'm a nice person. Probably too nice for my own good, to be honest with you, but that's just who I am. I mean, sometimes I wish I was a dick. I'd probably be more successful, but never saw that one, Scott. I'm trying to think of some of my favorite under-the-radar movies that I haven't named already. So for those of you just joining the stream, some of my favorite under-the-radar movies, Roller Coaster in 77, Big Wednesday in 78. Ace, I'll sing what I want to sing. You can go to Kevin Brennan's stream. 52 Pickup in 86. Raw Deal, which is a very under-the-radar Schwarzenegger movie with a great cast. You've got Robert Davi, Paul Shinar, who played Sosa in Scarface, and he died of AIDS, I think, a year later after Raw Deal was released, or maybe 2 years later. Sam Wanamaker, from Law and Order. Stephen Hill, I think, from Mission Impossible. Great old school cast. And I'm trying to think of some other movies. I mean, I wouldn't say Bad News Bears is an under-radar movie, but The Chocolate War, another John Glover movie, 1989, with Adam Baldwin and Elin Mitchell-Smith from Weird Science, Jenny Wright, who was on Inappropriate Earl podcast. Thank you very much, Jenny. I don't think you're listening, but thank you. Lois is doing all right. She's been coughing a lot tonight. Never saw Pet Cemetery. It's a Stephen King movie, right? My Bloody Valentine is another early 80s, to this day, the scariest movie I've ever seen in the theater. Scanners from 1980. I think, was the world's introduction to Michael Ironside. A great movie. Um, I have not watched Enemy Mine, to be honest with you. Lost Boys, but I mean, Lost Boys is a huge movie. Like, I'm trying to like pick like under the radar. Like The Wildlife is kind of an under the radar movie. That's a great cast. Eric Stoltz, Leah Thompson, Hart Bachner, who most would know as Ellis from Die Hard, Lee Ving from Fear, Ron Wood from The Stones, Robert Ridgely, who most people would recognize from Boogie Nights. Um, an album of what? I'm trying to think. Bachelor Party is kind of even though it has Tom Hanks in it, that's a great kind of under the radar movie. I mean, when you say Tom Hanks, you don't really think of Bachelor Party. You just think of all the great movies he's been in. No, Lois isn't affected by air quality, bro. A collapsed trachea, you could put her on Mars with the best air in the world. She'd still cough like she coughs. But I appreciate Red Dawn, another John Milius movie. But that movie did pretty well. Cruising with Al Pacino, because the great Powers Booth was in that movie. And the 80s just had a lot of good, Vice Squad is another great, gritty, I know TB must have liked that movie just because it's vintage 1982 Sunset Strip, Hollywood Boulevard. It probably doesn't mean a lot to people who didn't live there like me and TB, but it's so well done. And like every scene, I'm like, okay, I did an open mic at that restaurant that's now, that hotel, I fucked a girl in that hotel, when Ramrod meets the MTV VJ Nina Blackwood. Yeah, man, Phantom of the Park was a pretty bad movie. And I'm a Kiss fan, but man, that movie sucked. But it did have the great Absence of Malice, a very good movie. It did have the great Anthony Zerbe, who I think his last big thing he did was the last Timothy Dalton James Bond movie. I like the Timothy Dalton James Bond movies, to be honest with you. I mean, it's hard to call any James Bond movie under the radar because they're all so big. I mean, even the bombs do well. But I think Timothy Dalton's problem was he just played James Bond too dark, But that's what Daniel Craig did. So but at that time, I think in the mid '80s, because I think AIDS was definitely at the height in the Timothy Dalton James Bond era. So they probably didn't want to have James Bond be some pussy hound. But Lesson Zero, another movie that me and TB. That was my club going days, was Lesson Zero. I mean, and the funny thing is that nightclub, if you remember Lesson Zero, like that Robert Downey Jr. wanted to go make. I went to parties at that nightclub. It was called the Grand. It was on deep into downtown, but it's a beautiful hotel that had multiple floors, and every floor had a different theme. Palm Springs, we'd always go to Palm Springs to look for the Puss Puss. We'd go to Cecil's nightclub, which I think was one of those scenes in Lesson Zero, and you'd go to art galleries because you knew there'd be pussy there. Like it was, Lesson Zero probably is, and Some Kind of Wonderful. Those two movies really I identify with because that was my high school life. So. Yeah, I mean, I think Roger Moore played it really campy and fun, and then Timothy Dalton, and Roger Moore's a good actor if you've ever seen him in non-James Bond stuff. But Timothy Dalton was like a classically trained actor, so I think he tried to bring a little bit of seriousness to the role, like a vindictive James Bond, like wanting revenge for the what they did to his friend Felix Leiter. And, they pretty much, with him, stuck to one girl in every movie. I mean, Roger Moore was fucking girls before the opening credits came on. So, I don't know who Mike Carano is, to be honest with you. Yeah, Strother Martin, great in Slapshot. Yeah, Roger Moore's my Bond too. What up, Kip Smith? Yo, 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 yo. But it's funny, when I was dating someone from my past, she had never seen a Roger Moore James Bond, and I had never seen a Daniel Craig James Bond. So we did a James Bond movie night. I showed her Moonraker, and she showed me the first Daniel Craig James Bond, and I was bored. I was like, oh, he's playing it almost more serious than Timothy Dalton. And she just thought that Roger Moore was a clown. And, some of the scenes, like, it's not very believable that Roger Moore could beat up Richard Kiel. But fuck, it's a movie. I don't want believability. I mean, I want a little bit of believability. And you look at that fight Roger Moore had with Richard Kiel on the train when he saves Barbara Bach, you're like, okay, I don't think Roger Moore could, like, do damage to Richard Kiel. Oh, interesting, DB. I was just in Gil Turner's last Friday night. Airplane was great, ahead of its time. I mean, yeah, I would say, I mean, of course, we don't want to forget George Lazenby, but since I tried to watch his James Bond, it was a little tough. But, I would say Connery probably was the best actor, but I think, Moore just hit at the right time, like you said. It's the mid-70s, 80s, it's funny. He's a good-looking guy. And then I think Dalton was, but Dalton was almost James Bond, I think, in A View to a Kill, because Roger Moore was getting a little old. I mean, Roger Moore, when they filmed Spy Who Loved Me, he was already 50. So he kind of hit late. I mean, and then, by the time I think View to a Kill came around, he was, I think, my age, 56, 57. So, and then Timothy Dalton came in. I didn't really like the Pierce Brosnan James Bonds. Those are kind of an afterthought for me. Yeah, but, in the fight, if you take out the electrocuting him in the grill, but like the actual physical punishment, like it's not really believable that Roger Moore could hit Jaws in the jaw and hurt him. But yeah, I get it. It's a movie, but yeah, View to a Kill. That was the last Roger Moore James Bond. He was, I think, 56 or 57. Because what was View to a Kill? 86. So Roger Moore would have been 60 because he was born in 27. But Timothy Dalton, I think, was considered for Octopussy. And then I think they did the Sean Connery James Bond around that time, and I think Universal wanted Roger Moore because he was the bigger name. They didn't want to switch a Bond out at that time. So, and who was almost James Bond was Barbara Bach's boyfriend, who got killed, the Russian agent, at the very beginning of Spy Who Loved Me. Remember, she's fucking that Russian agent? And he was a real good-looking guy. Like, he was almost James Bond. It's really fascinating to go down the rabbit hole of who almost was James Bond. So, yeah, I mean, here's to us, baby. Jaws falling in love with the blonde girl. I mean, that was kind of funny. And I think they were thinking about bringing Jaws back for, what was the 81 for Your Eyes Only? I think they were thinking about bringing him back. I kind of wish they never made him a good guy. Although I do love Moonraker when he turns into a good guy. He just worked better as the evil, the unkillable heel. But No, I don't think I would make a James Bond. I'm not good looking enough, to be honest. Um, oh, really? Are you being serious, Buddhist priest? Um, I mean, it was kind of funny, but he was so good in Spy Who Loved Me and most of Moonraker. Hugo Drax, he was a great bad guy. Michael Lonsdale. Um, I mean, Moonraker's probably my favorite James Bond. It was so over the top. And I think it was very much influenced by Star Wars. They wanted to be like, hey, let's send James Bond into space. Um, so, Hugo W. Mr. Skakels. I don't know what that means. The Phantom with Billy Zane. That wasn't a bad movie. Yeah, well, you could hide my face in Spider-Man. I think I'd be a great bad guy because I'm such a nice guy in real life that I'd love to play a bad guy. So, I mean, because Jaws never technically died. Next stream to a Mr. Olympia breakdown. Yes, Lee Haney and wow, I haven't followed bodybuilding for so long, and I used to be really into it. Like I would mark out. I remember probably the most starstruck I've ever been was when I met Bob Paris in Brentwood. I just walked up to him, and he never won Mr. Olympia because he was a little too small, but I said, hey man, I just want you to know, Mr. Paris, you're the reason I drink Joe Weider's Dynamic Body Shaper. And he's like, I don't drink that shit. I'm like, oh, fuck. That was my fourth wall being broken, that celebrities don't really drink or whatever, endorse what they, they don't actually use what they endorse. I would think a new James Bond... well, listen, it's been 67 minutes and we have our first troll. And Gashy Killer, if you think I'm going to read that for free, you cheap fuck, I'll only read it if you super chat it. You son of a bitch. And any man who comes into another stream and the first thing is you look like the blah, 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 I'm going to guess your face could make a train take a dirt road. So don't worry about it. I've got 4 girls meeting me tonight at the Comedy Store. You haven't had 4 girls meet you in your life, bitch. Now hit the like and subscribe button and shut up and listen. Sorry, Gashy Kill. I'm coming in hot. I apologize. Interesting. Wow, the Palomino. That's where they filmed the Clint Eastwood monkey movies. Yeah, I don't know if he would be a good James Bond. Interesting. Well, I had a guest on my podcast, the great, what's his name, Jack O'Halloran, who played Non in Superman 2. I made him come to my house. He's like, can we do it on Skype? I'm like, not really. Can we do it on the phone? I'm like, not really. So I made this fucking actor in his late 60s schlep from Marina Del Rey to my house, and he was so fucking nice. He told me on that podcast that he was considered for Jaws, but he had to either pick Jaws or Superman 2. Now, I don't know if that checks out, because Superman 2, I believe, was 1980. Spy Who Loved Me was 77. Moonraker was 79. So, but, it's really not a thing to lie about. So, but he was a great, if you want an old school actor interview, check out Inappropriate Earl with Jack O'Halloran. He had a fight, I believe, with George Foreman or Muhammad Ali, one of the two, and he was supposed to fight the other. I mean, he was a legit heavyweight. And he got really into conspiracy theories. Awesome interview. Not because of me, because of him. What is the Palomino now? I don't really get out to that area. Hey, let's get to 40 likes, kids. Let's get to 40 likes before Earl takes his pregame Comedy Store nap. Thank you, Hugo. Blessings to you. Earl Skakel, Saturday Night Live, in the house. Lois is doing all right. I mean, she's been better, but she's certainly been a lot worse. I mean, about a month ago, I thought me and Gail were going to have to put her down because she had a seizure in the middle of the street. But so far, so good. Um, yes. And rest in peace to NHL linesman Leon Stickle and NHL agitator, former Philadelphia Flyer captain, and New Jersey Devil captain. I think the only guy to be captain of both teams, Mel Bridgman. So, thank you guys very much. Yeah, I mean, I could see Fred Gwynn maybe as Jaws type character, but he might have been a little too old in the 70s to play that. I do get cranky without my naps. Um, oh, interesting. I might have to go to that, DB. I might have to go to that. Let me see. If I could cast James Bond right now, I don't mind Idris Elba, even though he's a little older. That would kind of be like very Roger Moore-esque casting an older James Bond. But Hollywood, they want sequels and franchises. They're not going to cast an actor in his 40s. I would say, I mean, Ryan Gosling's too well known, but he is good looking enough to play Bond. Peter Dinklage, that would be an interesting take. I mean, realistically, I'm trying to think who Hollywood would cast. I mean, Charlie Hunnam, I think he could pull off a fake British accent. And the bad guy, I would love John Glover, to be honest with you. Now, he's semi-retired from acting, but he's a great bad guy, and I know he could pull it off. Yeah, Glenn Powell. Who plays Moneypenny? That's a great. Now, in James Bond, she was a little older. Moneypenny, I'd go Sydney Sweeney, man. But that's probably not a big enough role for her. And Moneypenny was never really a maid. She was in maybe the very beginning of James Bond movies, and that's about it. But you could have Sydney Sweeney play Moneypenny and then have her get kidnapped. And then Charlie Hunnam has to rescue her, and then they could fuck in the end. Yeah, I love those. That's where they sang Whiskey Heaven with Fats Domino and Mel Tillis. Isn't it funny? Mel Tillis stuttered, but never when he sang. And I love that Eddie Rabbitt song. Any which way, every which way but loose. I cry at the end of the first. What was Every Which Way But Loose, the first one, when Clint Eastwood was beating up Tank Murdoch, and he hears people kind of making fun of Tank Murdoch, so he lets Tank Murdoch win. Interesting. I'm trying to think if Charlie Hunnam's out. Or it'd be a good bad guy as if John Glover's too old. Is who another Inappropriate Earl podcast guest? I'm drawing a blank on his name. He played Tig on Sons of Anarchy. Kim Coates, because he's kind of like that weird looking dude with the blue eyes. He could kind of play a Hugo Drax type of character. Julian McMahon would have been a good bad guy, but he unfortunately passed away. Not necessarily. I mean, I think Charlie Hunnam. I don't think Roger Moore was British. And Sean Connery's Scottish. Isn't Charlie Hunnam Scottish? I think Charlie Hunnam could pull it off. Yeah, I mean, Tom Hardy would be good. So, I mean, then, I'm trying to think. I mean, it would be cool to see a black James Bond instead of a vodka martini shaken, not stirred. He'd probably just want Hennessy on the rocks, hold the ice. Hello. All right, guys, we'll go another 5 more minutes. Interesting. I did not know that, DB. Turd Ferguson in the house. Well, I'm assuming Eddie Haskell's a little too old. Yeah, Jimmy Carr would be good, and then I could be the bad guy and beat him like I did in Roast Battle. That really helped my career. Uh, I mean, you talk about win by losing. Um, going up. And then a great fight scene with legit tough guy William Smith and Clint Eastwood taking on the whole bar. Uh, even though I'm a metalhead, I did like the music in those 2 Monkey movies. It was country music. Eddie Rabbitt, Mel Tillis, Whiskey Heaven was Fats Domino. And I like the gang, the biker gang. Yeah, TB, that is a great flick. And, but my favorite Nick Nolte film by far and away, as you know, is North Dallas 40. That's a movie that should have done better, to be honest with you. I mean, look at that cast. G.D. Spradlin, Nick Nolte, Mac Davis. G.D. Spradlin, one of my top 5 favorite actors. Message Hell for Review. And another, I'm going to go Loverboy. Sandra Locke stinks. All right. You're coming in hot. But she was good in those movies and very good in The Gauntlet. But I like Loverboy. Turn me loose. Fuck yeah. Another very under the radar sports movie, 1977. One on One with Robbie Benson. That's another one of my favorite endings when G.D. Spradlin's like, hey, you can play basketball here, and your scholarship is fine. He just leans over and goes, Coach, I can play basketball anywhere I want. As far as the scholarship, all the way up with a red-hot poker. That was a great movie. I mean, G.D. Spradlin played a great dick. Also, here's the scary thing about G.D. Spradlin. He started acting at 50. So it's too bad we were hot-blooded. Check it and see. I got a fever of 103. Hot-blooded. I don't get a lot of super chats, but I've been doing this stream for an hour and 20 minutes. Have I asked for money once? No, because I'm not a High Plains fucking grifter like everyone else in the streaming world. That's give me. All I do is ask you to hit the like and subscribe button, baby dolls. Ace, I'm going to send you to Kevin Brennan's stream. And just because you told me not to sing, Cause she's bittersweet, she knocks me off of my feet, and I can't help myself, I don't want anyone else. She's a mystery, she's too much for me, but I keep coming back for more. She's just the girl I'm looking for. You say it one more time, I'll sing the whole fucking song, and I'll do it too, you son of a bitch. Pretty sure Gilly saw it. She blocked me. Are we talking about Gilly now? Oh, shit, Jeff Hunter. But I like the ray gun. She knocks me off of my feet, and I can't help myself. I don't want anyone else. She's a mystery. She's too much for me, but I keep coming back. And you even do it in the ray gun's colors, you son of a bitch. Jeff Hunter, $4.99. But I like the ray gun. Boing! So I think the caffeine's kicking in. Sorry about that. Fuck yeah, Jenna. You get it. Jenna gets it. Jeff Hunter with the... Oh, shit. Kip Smith with a gifted membership. You take the midnight subway train. You're calling all the shots. You strip a lightning. Another under-the-radar movie, thank you, Kip Smith, thank you, Jeff Hunter, is American Gigolo. That should have been a bigger movie. And of course, you want to know what good acting is? Bill Duke has a straight man playing a gay pimp. I can do all his lines to perfection. Well, you know, Ace, I got 3 fingers in here, and the middle one is for you. Hello! Just kidding, Ace. I get it, you know. Richard Gere, originally the role was to... Here's the funny thing about American Gigolo. The role originally was for John Travolta, so Armani made him like a dozen custom-made suits, and then he dropped out of the movie, so they had to make Richard Gere 12 custom-made suits. Al Pacino and Cruising, great. That's a great movie. And apparently there's like a 40-minute deleted scene version that they say there was a fire in the basement of so the masters got burned. So I hope that's not true. And Michael Keaton, me and Michael Keaton have one thing in common, and it's certainly not success in Hollywood, but it's being Comedy Store paid regular. Thank you very much. So, yes. Night Shift was a good song by the Commodores. I'm a say you, say me kind of guy. What up, Rudy Barga? So, let's get to 50 likes, guys. Let's get to 50 likes. We've hit the goal of $4.99 and a few gifts. Let's... Oh, shit. Turd Ferguson, $2. He just wanted to give me money. He didn't even say anything. Thank you, Turd Ferguson. Turd Ferguson for the win. Thank you, Turd Ferguson. Thank you, Jeff Hunter. And thank you, Kip Smith, for the gifted membership. Whoever got the gifted membership, thank Kip Smith. You cheap bastards. You should have been members already. I asked who's... Yes. Oh, shit. My King fan. Hey, y'all, prepare yourself for the King fan. Man, he didn't even say anything. Stephen Pericoli Stugatz. You guys are... I'm making the money, honey. So who knows? Maybe I'll just do another 10-hour stream. That's it. We're doing 24 hours, baby. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I did 130-pound dumbbell bench presses. I think I tore a ligament in here. It's hurting. It's all right. I'll never die. She blocked me right away on YouTube. Then I switched to my backup, and she let me go. Well, you know what? Felicia's no dummy. What's going on? Is something... Wait, did Stalin 19? Is Stalin 19 in the house? No. Do we have a legend of Stalin 19 in the house? We do not. Stalin 19, are you in here? Oh, shit. We've got a Dabbleverse legend in the house. We'll do... We'll go to 90 minutes. We'll do another 6 minutes. We have a legend, and Stalin 19 in the house, one of the preeminent... I did do 130-pound dumbbell bench presses, and my left shoulder is hurting right now. But I'm a fucking soldier. So welcome, Stalin 19. Dabbleverse questions are now in the house. We have many stream. I'd like to give the snipers or the clippers a shout out. We have Stalin 19. We have, of course, Doom. We've got NLO Clips. We've got My Lost Interest. But Stalin 19 is the real deal, as the others are as well. Oh shit, Turd Ferguson, $2. Who's gayer, Rob Schneider or Craig Kilborn? Well, first of all, I don't think either one are gay, to be honest with you. I mean, Rob Schneider has a beautiful wife. I mean, beautiful. I don't know of Craig Ferguson or Craig Kilborn's sexual proclivities, but I'm gonna go. Sorry, I get gassy when I get super chats. I'm gonna go Craig Kilborn's gayer because Rob, listen, Rob's had some fun in his life pre-marriage. Trust me on that one. He was a regular at the Playboy Mansion. That's a fact, Jack. So 4 more minutes, guys. 4 more. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I mean, you might not like Rob Schneider's acting, his comedy, his movies, or whatever, but his penis has had a good time. Trust me on that one. I did ace. I get gassy when I get super chats, to be honest with you. Yes, Rob started out at the Holy City Zoo with Robin Williams, Dana Carvey, the legend of Larry Bubbles Brown, who should be bigger, but Larry just likes being a big fish in a small pond. Larry should have moved to L.A. He'd be a sitcom star. Pat Dixon? Hello! See, Stalin 19's here. We gotta see, that's the thing is, I had no idea Stalin 19 was in the stream. And that makes me wonder who else is watching me that I don't know about. I think I have a good idea about someone. If the rumors are true, but we won't get into that. I don't know. Well, let me, listen, since we're nearing the end of the stream, Stalin 19, if you're still here, what I like to do is, I know a lot of people in the Dabbleverse don't think I'm funny, and that's fine. Comedy is subjective. MLC is live right now. So what I like to do, Stalin 19, is I like to let everyone know who's live right now. So MLC is live. Who else is live? Well, not many people. Usually Mersh is live or something, or Keanu or whatever. So it's down to me and MLC. So, MLC is, he's a soldier. He's a comedy soldier. That's a fact, Jack. I don't really know Craig Kilborn. Yes, the Dabbleverse does love unfunny people. I mean, that's why I'm not in it, I guess. Hey-oh, see what I did there? Little zing on the Dabbleverse. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. Hit the like and subscribe button. I don't ask you guys for much. Thank you for all the super chats and the gifted memberships. My channel is slowly growing, and I'll take it. And, I'm honest about my, let's go to my analytics page. What am I, Kevin Brennan, talking about my analytics? Turd Ferguson, tell us. No, I don't. Turd, if I could give money back, I would. Tell a story about Craig Kilborn, $2. Boy, I mean, I was in the movie Benchwarmers with him, but I really, if I could give you your $2 back, I would, because I don't have a Craig Kilborn story. I mean, I auditioned for his TV show, but I never got it. I guess at the Improv. Jeff Hunter, $4.99. The Hunter's the Mad Hunter for the new chair cushion from donated gas contamination. That's a fact, Jacksual. Making the money, honey. Kip Smith, another gifted membership. Pissman, what up, what up? I'm gonna laugh my ass off when someone does a gifted membership and an ex-girlfriend's name pops up in the chat. Oops. But we don't talk about that in here.
Cover for him, take care of him, make sure he's playing a game. And as a team, I think it's just.
I mean, Kilborn was a big dude.
That's what I'm thinking.
So, yeah, it is a busy night in the Earlverse. See, my TV just randomly turned on, so we'll show you guys what Lois is up to. Lois, she be chilling right now.
One example, and I'm not going to throw in one of the greatest players of all time was Pablo Bure. And it,
But because of my dad's PTSD, he couldn't leave our house before getting beat. Thank you, Dog Chow, for helping more veterans like my dad.
Hold on, let me get back to the super. There's the new pen cushion that will be, excuse me. See, I get gassy when I get super chats. Did you talk to John Lovitz on the set of Benchwarmer? I did not. I've talked to him. I did the John Lovitz Comedy Club. Back in the day, but he never did his own comedy club. I think it was a money scam. Whatever happened to Ron Elder? You know, and it's funny. I was watching Tulsa King, and I'm kind of starting to like Tulsa King. It took me a second to get into it, but and I think Frank Grillo, who's in this season of Tulsa King and last year, he was. He must live around here because I always bump into him. Saw him at an old gym I used to go to. He goes to the same place I go to get my dog food, and he must have a dog. And every time I see him, I give him the same compliment. I saw him a couple of weeks ago at the dog food place. I'm like, hey, I love you in Tulsa King. But I gotta be honest with you. You know, I say this to you every time I see you. Blind Justice, which was a story where Ron Elder played a cop. First episode is a bank robbery. He loses his vision, but still gets to carry his gun. Like, what the fuck? So, check it. I mean, I don't know where you could see a Blind Justice, but the great cast, Ron Elder, Frank Grillo, and who's the guy? He's a bald guy. He played the chief. He's in tons of things. I can see his face. I just can't say his name. I mean, Tulsa King, you know, I watched the first episode this season. It kind of like, I don't know, it just didn't grab me. And then I've watched about 4 episodes the last 2 days. It's pretty good. I mean, Robert Patrick's a great bad guy. He's the bad guy this season. What's Murderbot? I don't know what that is. Yeah. But, you know, Tulsa King, it's not too over the top. I mean, like James Russo's also the bad guy in this season. He seems like he'd be it's good casting. Now, the main writer, and I'm dying up here, Dave Labatt, he was the main writer in season 1 of Tulsa King, and I guess he died like within the last couple months. And he was the guy who wrote a scene for me in I'm Dying Up Here. He's like, Earl, everyone loves you, and we're trying to get you more lines, but it's just we have to, you know, we can only do so much. But he had written a scene for me that Cassie, you know, Ari Grainer's character, and I'm Dying Up Here, was so desperate she ends up fucking May. And Dave told me about the scene. He's like, yeah, we really wanted to do that for you, but the network said they didn't want her getting passed around like that. More Craig Kilborn talk. Don't send me any more money because I don't have any Craig Kilborn stories for you. Copland's a great movie. I mean, Stallone's a good actor when he plays that kind of dumb, dim-witted, you know, and he's obviously not dumb or dim-witted, but he is. I think Stallone's daughter's also in season 3. She plays a bartender. You know, small role here and there. But yeah, Tulsa King's pretty good. I mean, I'm surprised Stallone's doing TV. I mean, but that's how tough Hollywood is right now. Stallone, one of the biggest actors of all time, is doing a TV show. Kip Smith, I'm starting to think that Turd Ferguson might be Craig Kilborn. Yeah, 100%. So no meathead can write a screen. Oh no, I'm not saying he's dumb. I obviously he's not, but he's great at playing dumb characters. Like Rocky was, basically a CTE down on his luck prize fighter. He should have won the Oscar for the first Rocky. Rambo was kind of a slow, dim-witted Vietnam vet. Awesome. Copland, almost, I don't know, a sling blade type cop. He was awesome in that. So, you know, oh, really? Are they still alive? Jesus. Turner and Hooch. That's a good movie. I think it won for best screenplay. I don't know if it won for best movie, but he should have won. I mean, I don't know who was in '76, who won best actor, but I'm sure it was De Niro, maybe Taxi Driver or something. But I mean, come on, Rocky's iconic. And where's your home state? Washington? I mean, Tango and Cash wasn't bad, but what a clusterfuck that movie was. It was supposed to be Swayze and Stallone. And then I guess Swayze dropped out, and a bunch of other people were considered, and then Kurt Russell came in. I mean, I think it all worked out. Yes, Rocky was Chuck Wepner. I think Chuck Wepner got fucked out of money. I mean, it's a tough business. All right, we'll go to the 100-minute mark. So 3 more minutes, guys. Let's get to 50 likes. And you can ask one more free, I don't want you to pay for it, one more free Craig Kilborn question. Yeah, I mean, I thought it won Best Screenplay. And I guess Stallone gets an Oscar for that. I mean, he wrote it, but, he should have... I'm hoping they do a Ron Lyle movie. I don't necessarily know if it's an interesting enough story long term. I mean, I don't know what the payoff would be, but his background is so interesting to me. In Colorado State Prison for murder, 7.5 years, gets out, fights Muhammad Ali, almost beats him, fights George Foreman, almost beats him. Has a very nice heavyweight career. And then at the end of his life, he's working security in Vegas and kills someone else. So I don't know what the payoff would be there, but I do think that's at least a documentary. Wow. Oh, that's cool, TB. I can't. You look like that German porn actor. I don't watch porn, even though it looks like I produce it. Hey, see, that's a Skakel classic right there. You can't beat that. Peter Finch, yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not saying Peter Finch shouldn't have won. I think his daughter went to my grade school, but she was black, so I never understood that. But that's before I knew black people and white people could have sex together. I always thought it was like separate. Oh, Earl, I love you. I was in Louis Anderson's bedroom once, but let's not get too nuts on that story. I was a staff writer on the Ian Bagg talk show, and Louis Anderson financed the talk show. And it was held like every week at the Friars Club. And so I'm at the writers' meeting at some guy's really nice house in the Hollywood Hills, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see Louis Anderson walking around in his underwear. And as I'm leaving, he's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Oh, my name's Earl Skakel. Nice to meet you, Mr. Anderson." He's like, "Oh, you're a Kennedy." I'm like, "No, I'm a Skakel." Like, "No, you're a Kennedy." And then the conversation led into his bedroom, and I'm standing there at the foot of the bedroom, the doorway, and he had this really, concerned look on his face. I'm like, "You all right, Louis?" He's like, "Earl, you seem like a nice guy, but I gotta take a shit." And so he ran past me and shut the door, and man, I'm telling you, it sounded like they were editing special effects in Star Wars in that bathroom. I mean, I do have a strong face. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is a good Louis. He sounded like Andy Dick. Well, 3 Andy Dicks. Yeah, he was a big boy. Sweet Lou was a big boy. Hey, we got 50 likes, man. In under 10 seconds, I have to end the stream. So I love you all. Thank you for the love and support. We're all fucking soldiers in here. So, yeah, I don't want, I mean, I'm sure his toilet looked like a Picasso painting. Hey, Skakel over and out.